Hi, my name is Iris. I hope that you are doing very well. If you are new here, welcome. This channel is all about faith-based content. So it's Friday, guys. I hope that I'm pretty sure you guys are ready for the weekend, huh? I am too. Well, actually, this whole week has been like pretty mellow. So usually like when I look forward to the weekend is because I've had like it's been like a hectic or like a super busy week. But this week has been pretty mellow, so it kind of feels like it's the weekend to me. But if you're waiting for the weekend because you're stressed because of work or for whatever it is that you are going through, then it's Friday. Okay, we're almost there. Today I actually wanted to revisit the vision board. So here is mine. It is already finished, completely finished. And if you have already done yours, like, I'm happy for you. And if you haven't, then it's not the end of the world. You still have time, but it's important, like how I mentioned in my previous videos, that we need to ask God, like, for what is it that he wants us, for him to put those desires in our heart, for us to do this year, right, that he wants us to accomplish. And I actually wanted to share a couple of things that have already came to pass this year. Like, for example, I wanted to go to a wedding, and I still want to continue to weddings. So that one already came to pass. And then I actually got to cook. I wanted to cook every single month something new, and I wanted to start like doing smoothies again. So then I started to do that. And then one thing that I wanted to do is I haven't done Bible study or given the word in like a while. So I also got to do that. That was part of one of my dreams, or one of my desires for this year. I wanted to do that. So those are the things that have already came to pass. And what I like to do is I actually like to write like the date that it happened, and it, like what I cooked. This day I cooked like fish and Mexican rice, which I haven't done in like a while. Never cooked fish. First time cooking fish. And yeah, I put the date, and I put like where it happened, and what I did. So the other thing that I would like to mention is that that it's important that as we're going into this new year, you might feel discouraged, or like this heaviness, or like, man, like, are my vision, are these dreams gonna come to pass? Or maybe you already have them there, right? Your dreams, your visions are already there, but then you're like, maybe you don't. Maybe you're like, man, like, is this even gonna happen? Or maybe you're like, you know what, I don't even feel like fighting. I don't even feel like getting up this year. I don't feel like doing nothing, like maybe you feel like tired, right? For whatever reason. Or maybe you're seeing that God is doing amazing things in your life and in the people around you, right? But there's just something within you that's just like feeling down or feeling heavy, or you're feeling discouraged, right? Like, it's okay. It's okay that you're feeling that way. It's okay that that maybe you're going into this new year and you're like, man, like, I thought it was going to be completely different. I honestly thought it was going to be completely different too. But what we are called to do is to not give up, right? We are here to encourage one another. We are here to uplift one another, and to continue to speak life and faith into one another, right? So if you're one of those persons that wants to give up, like, don't give up. Like, now is not the time to give up. Now is the time to just keep pushing forward and just take step by step, and just continue to walk. Like, I know that you might feel hopeless or discouraged, or like, man, like, this is a never ending trial, or when are your dreams, or when are your visions, or when are your goals going to come to pass, right? Like, don't get discouraged. And in these moments and in these times, we have to remember what God has already done, you know, for us in the past. Like, begin to write like little reminders. I have these. Sorry, I'm like, my whole face is in. Oh, okay, so you guys kind of getting like the whole thing of how my room looks. And honestly, before, you know, filming this video, I was also feeling discouraged. I was also feeling like, man, like, why should I even try? You know, like, why should I even record the video, you know? But we're not called to give up, and we're not called to move and live by our feelings, right? Which honestly, I've been living. It just hasn't been easy, you know? So what I got an idea from this lady, this YouTuber, her name is Evan Hertz. And she said that you need to get like little index cards and start writing down like what God has already done, you know, like in your life and the people around you, so that you don't forget, you know, because sometimes we tend to forget, and because we tend to forget, we feel discouraged, right? So and don't just write down the things that God has done in your life, right? Like, let's say a family member was sick, right? And you're like, God, like, you're praying and stuff like that, and that family member got better, right? Also write down like what he has promised you, what he has spoken over your life. If God said that, hey, like, maybe you're struggling with depression, right? But then God gave you a word and said that this is the last year, or you're not going to be going through depression anymore, then hold on to that word and declare it over your life, you know? Like, begin to remind yourself of what God has already spoken over you, of what God has already told you. And just don't give up. Continue praying over your dreams. Continue praying over your goals, and just ask God to help you, to strengthen you in whatever area that it is that you need. Like, say, God, begin to rebuild me. You know, I feel broken. I feel torn down. Like, begin to rebuild my faith. Begin to give me the restoration of, you know, or what is that thing called? Begin to bring joy, the joy of my salvation, right? Like, whatever the case may be. Like, God, like, I felt like, yeah, you're calling us to dream and to like have goals and have visions and stuff like that, but you're like, man, I don't have any. And you're like, man, we're almost into March. It's okay. Just ask him, Lord, begin to give me those desires. Begin to put in me, God, what it is that you have for me this year, and help me not give up, even though when I feel like I want to give up, even when I don't want to take another step. Like, just tell him to give you that strength, you know. Or maybe you have kids, you know, and you feel overwhelmed because you have a child, right? And you might not even have a bunch, but that just one child, you're dealing with a lot. It's a lot for you, right? So ask God, like, God, teach me, like, help me give this to you, help me rest, help me have patience, give me peace, you know. Whatever you're lacking in, or whatever you're lacking of, just ask God to give it to you, you know. And maybe it's faith. Maybe you're like, God, like, I don't have faith, you know, like, please give me faith, you know, in this area or in that area. Like, God is gonna give it to you. Just don't get discouraged. Because that's what the enemy wants, right? For us to, you know, stop trying, for us to give up, for us to like to just not try. But something good comes out of trying. Something good, something great comes out of just, you know, putting one foot in front of the other, you know. And like, I'm telling you, like, this week, yeah, it has been like mellow in some areas, but I've been like, it's been pretty heavy in certain things, and then I've been like, man, I want to give up. Like, I don't even want to do this, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that. But once I pushed myself to do it, you know, like, there's certain classes that I've had to go to, right? And I'm like, I don't want to go because I'm tired, or like, what's the use, or whatever, you know, the case may be. But then when I went, you know, to the classes, I was like, something good came out of it, you know. something good came out of it. And the other thing that I want you to remind yourself of, or I want you to know, is that you're not in the same place where you used to be. I was talking to one of my friends. Her name is Kelly, and I was going through like a really hard time, and I was like, Kelly, like, oh my gosh, like, I feel like this is too much for me to bear, you know? And she was like, she told me a couple of things, and then she was like, Iris, like, you do know that you're not where you used to be, right? And I'm like, what? And it took me a minute, but I was like, hold on, like, yeah, it's true. I wasn't able to do this, but now I do this. I wasn't able to do that, but now I do that. I wasn't able to do this, but now I do this. And excuse me, and it has all happened because of prayer, because I've gone to God and asked him for strength. I've asked him for like for him to help me, right, in certain things, like what I mentioned before in my previous videos that I was not able to do, you know. And sometimes you know, we focus so much on what we want next, or we focus so much on what we are still struggling in or battling in, that we're like, ugh, like that we forget, or we push aside, or we make the things that that God has already done in our lives like as if it's nothing, when it clearly is something, right? Like God has done like amazing things, great things, and we have to remind ourselves and continue to have like that grateful heart, you know, towards God, and say like, hey God, I know that I'm not where I am. I mean, like, I'm not where I used to be, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm also not where I want to be, right? Maybe you want that business, maybe you want to go back to school, or maybe you want to go on a trip, or you have all of these things, right? Maybe you want to be fearless and you want to be bold for the Lord, right? But you're still struggling with some stuff, right? Just don't give up. Like, God is still in control. God has you. Like, he hasn't left you. He's never gonna abandon you, you know? But it's up to you to remind yourself of that. It's up to you to be like, hey Lord, I'm struggling in this. I need you to help me, you know? Like how you've done it before, Lord. And we also have to go before him and like repent and say, God, like, I'm sorry because I've been bitter. I'm sorry because I've been holding on to things, right, that sometimes are hindering our walk with God. And say like, Lord, forgive me and please help me, you know, like, help me walk, help me give this to you. Whatever it may be, Lord, just like help me release it to you. Like, help me stop holding on to it like this, you know, like I'm gripping onto something, like, because at the end of the day, it's not worth it, right? It's not worth holding on to anything that we're not supposed to, because we know that nothing good is going to come from it. So we just have to ask God to help us release it to him, whatever it may be. So yes, focus on your goals, focus on your dreams, and just reminding yourself of what God has already done, you know, for you in the past. Like, begin to remind yourself, and that's going to increase your faith. That's going to increase, it's basically in a way like going to propel you to continue to keep going, right? Because God has not called us to give up. He has called us to just try, you know, to continue to walk. So that's it for today's video. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.